We're going to be talking about the case of Leo Schofield. In the 1980s, Leo and his family moved from Massachusetts to Florida. And then when he was 21, Leo married Michelle. But unfortunately, in 1987, Michelle was murdered, and in 1989, Leo was convicted of her murder. This case is an example of how the criminal justice system often focuses on assigning blame and moving on rather than trying to find closure or the truth. Leo's case became a really hot topic after it was discussed on the Bone Valley podcast in 2022, which went over a lot of aspects of the case and included interviews of Jeremy Scott, who actually confessed to Michelle's murder. Leo's case was based on a lot of circumstantial evidence and investigation bias, which was mainly due to his relationship as the spouse of the victim. Some of the reasons that contributed to Leo's conviction were a lack of technology at the time and also some eyewitness statements. But the main thing was that the fingerprints that were found in the original investigation were deemed irrelevant during the case and put aside. In 2004, those fingerprints were tested and they were found to belong to someone that was not Leo. And the eyewitness testimony was his neighbor, who claimed to have seen him moving a heavy object into his car, which was used against him as evidence that he murdered Michelle. For years, Leo's refusal to admit guilt and show remorse for the murder contributed to his parole being denied, despite all the new evidence that came to light. The way that evidence and investigations are handled could really prevent things like this from happening in the future. If the DNA and fingerprints had been tested when the case actually was happening, and they had actually found more eyewitnesses and people to line up the story, I think this would have been prevented, and Leo wouldn't have spent 36 years of his life in prison. Leo himself has said that his wrongful conviction means he missed out on a lifetime of memories, having a family, and growing up with his peers. Leo has been released on parole, but he is not exonerated in the eyes of the law, despite all the public advocacy for his case.